Morning.
Hey Joyce, how are you?
Hi. Good. Cindy, you probably haven't gotten an opportunity to read my early email.
I did.
Oh, good. Okay. Was it terrible yesterday?
It was really busy. When Karen and I were leaving yesterday, she said, I think this is the busiest day since I've started. I said, in terms of
Yeah.
phones, absolutely. Yeah, it was pretty busy, but
Sandy, just to update you with everything going on with the COVID and all the seniors over 75 trying to get an appointment to be vaccinated. Not sure this is probably a good time to spend time trying to get a grant. So I thought we would sit on it over the weekend and then check back with Cindy and see what she has to say about it.
okay.
Because it's pretty time consuming. And then they suggested at that meeting we were at that if there was something on your bucket list, you don't want to ask for a lot of money, but if there's something you would like to accomplish, you don't have to go just by those recommendations. You can pick a different subject or something else. And I don't think they're going to be very particular. They don't want these heavy duty responses to read because everything is so short on time. And even to spend the money is short. Anything you want to add to that, Cindy?
So I just got another email this morning from MCOA with another grant opportunity called Living Your Best Life Resiliency Training. And the grants are $2,500 each, and they'll be awarded to 30 councils on aging.
All right.
So apparently this is it's a version of the Live Your Life Well Resilience one-day training, which is something they must have done before, but this is a 10-week program and you do an hour class for 10 weeks. You'd have a facilitator run it. The course has 10 tools that are the foundation of the course, and the programs, you could have a guest speaker come in and do it. So that might be something that we would look at instead of the other grant.
All right. Well,
it seems a little bit more focused.
Yeah, I'm going to leave this is, your decision. You're trying to run a COA and help these seniors through this pandemic problem with the getting an appointment. So we'll talk next week, or send me an email, or send the whole group an email. Sure. Why we're not proceeding. And I think everybody will agree. I did have a friend who lives in Vermont that has done grant writing for like Sweet Paws and a bunch of other facilities, and he offered his help. Oh, nice. But I don't know if any of us at this point could take the extra stress.
Right, I hear you.
So what do you think, Sandy?
Well, I know I don't have the extra, I can't do it right now.
Right, you're on vacation. You have a husband.
No, I'm retired and I did offer to do this, but it just kind of the thought overwhelms. I don't mind a little bit of it, but I couldn't be all in on it.
Yeah. No, I was wondering what you thought of our thinking about whether or not we should do it this time around.
I think we should get in the practice of it. The only question I have, Joyce, is in our, I was looking up our guidelines for being on the board, and we're not supposed to do fundraising.
I don't consider this as fundraising. Okay. But we can talk about that with the Friends, because we're having a meeting with them next week at 7 a.m. because they're the ones that are supposed to do the fundraising. So if this is a fundraising event, this would be their decision what they would want to do about it. But still, it would take a lot of Cindy's time providing the information that we would need to fill out the paperwork.
Okay.
And then there's after you do the programming and whatnot, then there's all this reporting that has to be done to say what you did with the money. There's a lot of administrative pieces to it on both sides.
Well, I think it's the right idea to get our head in the framework to do it. like you said, Joyce, to jump off and go right on this one is probably an awful lot to bite off at this time. But I think we should tap into, if Jerry has done it, maybe she can,
She volunteered to be on the committee,
right.
but the point is the time that it's taking away from Cindy at this particular time.
Oh,
'Cause,
exactly.
yeah,
What I thought, what I thought is, we should just be thinking, it's a great idea. We got to start thinking about it, or the
right.
friends or whoever. It's great.
Oh, I was so excited. I was, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's money out there, so.
Yeah, we're gonna get all these laptops. Now we can have the internet in them. We don't have to worry about that. We can pay ahead for the whole year. So, but
Right.
anyways, then I started to come down off my dream horse and into reality when I was online yesterday trying to get an appointment for my inoculation, and it was so stressful, and I couldn't call the COA for help because they were out. I knew I didn't even want to send her a text or an email yesterday, so that's
Oh,
where
you can always reach out to me anytime.
oh, thank you. But it was wicked. And Evelyn had a bad day too. She was
She did.
trying to help all the seniors.
Yeah, she
was
told us
help-
she was gonna try and do that, though it doesn't seem to matter. At this point, there's just not enough vaccine to go
That's what
around,
it is.
so the appointments are all booked.
Right.
What
I
was it?
would get all the way through, and then I would, when it was time to actually make an appointment, they would say there's no vaccine within 30 miles.
Yep.
Okay, then I'll go 60, but I didn't have the opportunity. But I'm going to be fine. Brigham and Women's has reached out, and
Oh, good.
they're going to take care of it. So I'm just going to sit back and relax on that.
Yep. Yep.
So
So,
down here, they're inoculating everybody over 65. So I don't know what happened in Massachusetts.
that's on the list now, but it's after everybody 75 gets inoculated.
Yeah,
And
that Governor Baker is a real wonder.
uh,
So
well,
anyway, the other thing I wondered about, and I didn't put it in my notes. So I didn't list who was willing to be on the grant committee because I didn't know if that was affirmative, and I didn't want to put them on the spot. Evelyn questioned me about it, but I said, I don't know how positive they were, and I don't want to put them on the spot. And secondly, the other thing I wanted to put in my notes but didn't want to broadcast to everyone is, did we say that someone was going to talk to Tracy or see if there could be a grant person for the town, a
I'll
resident?
reach out to her and do that.
I don't know if, I mean, I
yeah,
don't
we
want to,
mentioned that in some of the emails that have been going back and forth. I have mentioned it to Cindy, and maybe others saw it too. Maybe we'd even ask her, should we back out? Is there anybody that she could send to do the work? I don't know. So Cindy's going to have that.
it's still going to go through Cindy. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to Tracy and talk with her.
Yeah,
So,
and you see how things go, and if it slows down any, and what you really, and I understand about the book work afterwards. You have to give details of every penny that was spent and what we gained from it. What were the good parts
Right.
of what did we accomplish by doing it?
Yeah.
So what do you think about Evelyn? Do you think she's the goddess? So should we call her?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes in here.
Yeah.
He's kind of in the
Um,
middle of.
I can reach, I'll go get my cell phone.
Okay.
And it's over there, and I'll call her. And when I stand up, my pajama bottoms match my top. I am styling. Oh, you can't even see
You can't
it.
even see them. You didn't even have to give yourself away.
so have you gotten any responses about the plans that were set out to the board members? the plans now. I was a little bit concerned because that we had to share them with the rest of the board because they are so, it's so early in and nothing.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's why I was clear, this is a first draft and,
nope, it's nothing set in stone. I don't want
absolutely not.
anybody getting their hackles up,
Right. And in fact, when I was, and we can wait to see if Evelyn's going to join us, but they're like, this looks really awesome, but I think it's too much like office space. There's so much, he's projecting 100 parking spaces. Even that to me seemed like a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why.
So it's cereal today, right?
What's that talk?
All right.
Hello,
I'm glad you called.
Evelyn, are you joining us?
All right, well, let's keep in touch.
I'm calling. I can understand that yesterday did you in. We'll wait for you. All right, bye. She forgot. So
She's got a lot
This
on her plate.
there's just so much going on, so it's not easy.
It's not.
So, Sandy. Oh, Sandy muted because I think she thought the background noise was in here on her end. She's unmuted. Yay.
I was talking to the boss here.
Oh, okay.
I thought you're the boss there.
Well, we don't tell him that.
Me neither. I
So-
don't do that at home either.
So I wanted to know what you had to, what I had to do to review these and talk to you at the same time. I have the plans up on my big computer and I'm using my iPad to do the Zoom. But my old computer downstairs, I couldn't open them, but up here I was able to. So that's why I'm on the 3rd floor right now. So
Well, that's good you can open them. I can't look at both at the same time, but
that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's true.
yeah. But what I noticed, Cindy, did you notice that what he neglected to have was your requested exit and entrance to the kitchen direct?
I thought it was direct to that dining area.
There is one to the dining area, but there isn't one
Outside
for deliveries.
for delivery. Okay.
I think that might be, I don't know if he forgot it, but this is so preliminary. He doesn't even know where it's going to be
Right.
within the context of the building, if it even ends up in this building.
Yeah, when you were trying to get Evelyn, we were talking about how I was concerned about sending, it's so preliminary. I was concerned about sending it out
I
to
heard that,
anybody,
right.
but
But they're out there and there hasn't been any bad reaction to them. And at least they feel like they're not being left out in a way. It was shared.
Yep.
And they were, so. But they're not final and who knows
Far
what.
from it. Far from final.
The thought I had was, I remember him saying there was going to be an office for the director, an office for the 2 offices, one for the program coordinator, and then there was the outreach person.
Mhm.
And the fact we discussed that even if there was more than one, that we were going to need eventually, they could be part-time, because at this point in time, our outreach worker is part-time. But then there was going to be a private area for the government, there's a better word, but I'm just the first one that.
It's a consultation room. So whether it's for, private meetings, one-on-one, whether it be with a nurse or the Shine coordinator or whatever. Yeah.
And then I thought he was talking about an area where there could be one or more desks. Does anybody remember that? An open area?
Like a what am I, like a reception type area? Is that what you mean?
Well, there was something that was going to be open and other people. Here comes Evelyn. She's connecting. But anyways, we'll discuss that and see what your thoughts are on what you want to do with the space at your senior center. And we'll give you our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Av, you here? You going to unmute?
Oh, there she goes.
Okay,
Sorry, everyone, sorry.
No
that's
problem.
okay. We're good now.
Yep.
So do you want to lead this meeting, Cindy?
Sure. So if everyone's had a chance to review the plans, I can tell you my initial thoughts, and then you guys can add in if you'd like. I'm glad, Sandy, you actually said that about the delivery entrance to the outside, because I did not notice that. I think I was so excited to see these drawings that I missed that. But
Well, it might be there, but I couldn't see it.
No, it wasn't there. I was looking for it too,
yeah.
also.
And like you said, maybe it's just depending on the actual physical building where that can be. But I've made a note of it because that's something I'll certainly reach out to Jeff about. My initial reaction when looking at this, I feel like there's too much office space. Even when there's going to be growth of this Council on Aging and there'll be more staff members, hopefully eventually, I still think it was a lot. Like I don't foresee having an assistant director on a full-time basis to need a separate office space. That could happen. It might grow that much that you would need to have an assistant director. But then I think there's a total of 6 office spaces, which seemed like a lot to me.
Okay,
I did really like the amount of storage to be able to put things away. I like that the consult area does have a little waiting area right outside so that people can be, seated and waiting.
yeah,
I thought that large multi-purpose room, that's exactly how I envisioned it, to have a stage and a seating area that people can come for some kind of a presentation.
and the public, I'm thinking too that
Yep.
the public can use it.
Exactly. So with the way it's set up, you can either just have half of that space or open the whole thing up and have a really large area. Because I don't think the whole area would be needed when we were doing luncheons, just based on the numbers that I've heard from the recent past. Obviously we want to grow it, but what he's got here looks like a great amount of room even to grow into. And he's got the motorized projection screen that would come down in that room. I liked that. All of that storage space off of that room particularly, I think is really great. He's got storage at like the pantry, a whole, pantry area for storage for the kitchen. What is your thought on that fitness room? Having equipment there that people can use. So I know he just put it in there as a potential. But when I went to Georgetown, she actually has a room like that. I think there's 2 treadmills, a bike.
All right, on the fitness room, it is 20 by 30, which is, that's a lot of square footage.
Mhm.
This workout mats. We are going to be running or trying to run some exercise classes.
Yep.
And I would think that some type of equipment in this day and age, especially with the seniors that will be coming into this even later age, they're already doing this type of stuff. And I think they would value having an elliptical and a treadmill and a
Bicycle.
bicycle. And
Yep.
it doesn't even have to be those three.
Right, but I liked the idea of it. I thought it was
but-
really great.
But it's huge. But
Mhm.
but if you got a big exercise class going on,
Yeah,
it may be needed.
Yeah.
Does Sandy and Evelyn have any thoughts on the exercise room? I know you guys can't see that probably now, but I'm explaining as we go along. It's called the fitness room. It's 20 by 30. It shows exercise equipment, not a lot, 3 pieces, but there's room for more. I would assume most council on agings of today that are being built have exercise equipment.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was,
Yeah,
my only concern was it, is it big enough for a class if you have that machinery in there?
that's a thought. That's a thought, but
But we can also go to the other larger rooms if that's, if
yeah,
we have that.
30, is that 5,000 square feet? 20 by 20. Let me multiply it, 20 by
Well,
50.
I don't know how big the machine, how much room the machinery will take either. I don't.
Yeah, right. So
but
at
I
this,
agree. If we were to have like a huge group coming in for chair yoga, we could do it in a different room in that bigger multi-purpose room.
well, let's move on and just keep that in mind. Is it not big enough or is it too big and as far as the equipment, we would see who at that particular time, it may not be now that these seniors would be doing it, but if we're opening it up to the general public, it might become handy.
I'll tell you, in Georgetown, they offer it to like the fire department and the police department if they want to come over and use it. So it's available not just for seniors. It's more community, you know.
Right.
My feeling on space is that it should be adaptable to whatever the need is. And so if we have like an exercise room that can be converted to something else on an as-need basis, and maybe the equipment doesn't need to be in there right away. Maybe it's something down the road if there was a request for it, but maybe it could be foldable type that could be put away if it wasn't being used. I'm all for space that can be used for many other things.
Right,
That's-
not just a specific room.
Yes.
You know, this is only used for this. Yeah, I agree. It does need to be multi-purpose.
Okay.
The art room was quite large, same 20 by 30. I love the idea of the lounge. And I had actually mentioned to Jeff after our meeting that I would have liked to have a gas fireplace in the lobby area. And he put a fireplace here in this lounge area instead, which I thought was actually really nice and probably cozy. Make it really warm and inviting. And that's, as far as a lounge, it's like a library slash sitting area where people can, if you want to come and read the paper there in the morning, or you just want to meet with a couple of friends, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it's just a quiet area. I kind of liked that. I actually really liked that.
Just to let, I don't, Evelyn, are you able to look at these drawings at this point in time?
No,
All right, let me tell you, what it shows is, it's called the lounge. Shows a TV, I believe, up on the wall.
Yes.
And then it shows recliners, and then it has tables that you could sit around. And there's also comfort chairs, and then there's the fireplace. So it's a flat panel TV, table and chair seating, bookcase, fireplace, and recliners, and the size of the room is 20 by 30.
And again, I don't, I just don't know what we need. This was a wish list, and wish lists are good. It's like when Santa Claus comes, you don't get everything you ask for.
Right.
And so,
Maybe at some point Cindy will have to set her priorities, but
well, what I'm thinking, Joyce, is I'm a little confused. Are we designing to go into the existing town hall? Are we designing to go into a as-built or stick-built facility? That does make a difference. And some of these questions are mute depending on where we're going. And so if we're going into the town hall, if that's where they're putting us, then we need to talk different talk. We need to, because we're way over what we can do in town hall. So I think we're putting the cart before the horse here.
I agree on that too. Yes, maybe we just look at our wish list, and it's got to revert back to what he has to say. I don't know what he meant when I said to him, if I'm right, is this building going to be 21,000 square feet with the town hall's 10 something and square feet and our 10,000 something square feet? And he said, yes. In fact, I think he even added on an extra 1,000 of square footage when he answered back. So, and it doesn't sound parking wise, he was concerned. So I think we'll just look what's here. And maybe in the back of Cindy's head, if she's asked to make it smaller, then we can have them do the second, whatever the word is he's using.
Draft.
Draft, thank you. My mind goes blank at times. And see if they are talking more about putting us someplace else.
That's what I thought this meeting was for, instead of getting
Today,
instead of getting into the particular rooms and everything. I mean, I was flabbergasted when I saw how big it is. I'm there. This is not going to fit in town hall. I thought he was going to do something with our wishes, how it would fit in town hall. And I thought, this is like, where do we get this from? I mean, we talked about town hall, and here he is putting this huge building out there. And then I thought, well, maybe he did this. This is our wish list, and then we're to edit it and bring it down. I don't know, but I think if you showed this to the town, they'd go nuts, because we don't want to spend that much money.
Yep.
We want to keep the citizens' costs down. And here we are with a great big plan. And I just was like befuddled when I saw it. I'm there, where did this come from?
So, well, again, just to speak to like what Evelyn was saying about multi-purpose rooms, having a separate games room and a separate art room, like to me, I think a lot of these things can be, put together so that there's not we don't need a separate room just for games. A lot of these rooms should be, there's tables and chairs in there. You can use them for many different things. And I think as long as we have the storage space to be able to put the art supplies away when there's a games, competition going on, or be able to, use the rooms wisely, because the way this is, we're not gonna have all these activities going on simultaneously. There's not gonna be an art class and a fitness class and a games and it's not all gonna be at the same.
So,
Eventually it gets to that point, but I think having multi-purpose rooms where we can use them for multiple purposes is best.
so I was hoping or thinking, maybe we should ask him, how does this fit in the town hall? And then we can, if we're to have the input, how to decide where it goes or to help, if we're gonna be happy with it, we have to know how it's gonna fit there. Otherwise, we have to be told, either A or B, and we can't really make the decision unless we know. What do you think, Joyce?
It makes a lot of sense. So that's why I was even somewhat, but wanted to go directly to Jeff. And we have this big building, and if it's not going to work, I thought we would come back with, Cindy would come back with homework based on if they give us a square footage to make it work, or do we have the opportunity to move on? I think at this point in time, we can get it in our heads what is here, and we realize that it is too big.
Yep.
And there's some rooms that we probably don't even need.
We can consolidate.
And we can consolidate it a little and drop it
But
But I
Joyce,
think the next thing is what happens, like Evelyn keeps saying, if it's usable for other things, and at this point in this time, I think she's on the right track about what she's saying too. Go ahead,
Um,
Ev.
Joyce, but to me, there's still the unknown. And the only people that can answer it is, I guess, whoever makes the decision, the town administrator, the board of selectmen. I don't know who's making the ultimate decision. I hear rumors that they want to go back as a town into the town hall. Well, there isn't room enough for all of us there. So ultimately, where in their minds do they want to put us?
Right.
So do we want to come up with a list of questions for me to go back to Tracy and Jeff with?
Prior to the meeting,
Yes.
that's an
Do you want to
idea.
give me a list of questions? I can go to the two of them and say, we reviewed this first draft as a group, and these are our questions.
Why don't, do you think we should do them now or wait to give them a head start on thinking about it? What do you think, Ev?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if we're ready with the list of questions. Right off the top of my head, my question is, like if Tracy was here, I would say, do you want us in the town hall? Is that where you want us? And if that question is, or if that's answered in the affirmative, then we need to go back to Jeff and we say, okay, Jeff, they're going to put us in the old town hall. Figure out a way we can go there. And then we have to, after that's done, we have to say, okay, is this, as an expansion committee, we have a responsibility to present the best idea that we can for the senior citizens. Okay, so Jeff comes up with a plan to put us into town hall. Is this what the best idea for the citizens and for the taxpayer that's going to have to take on the extra tax burden? Or is there another way? Maybe we go into something else, a once and for all type thing, something that can be expanded. Is that the best idea for the seniors and for the taxpayer? There's two groups here we have to please.
That's true. I had sent an email in the very beginning to Tracy about a cost factor, is there any other money available that would relieve the taxpayers and the seniors? Because we certainly don't want to put a major expense on them, but yet they deserve a COA that is productive and can do things for them that they would like to do, a place to go. And she said it was way too early for her to even answer that because she would have to see the logistics, the size and all that, and then come up with an amount. So it is up in the air and we don't know what they plan. And it's the selectmen that make the final approval. But I do feel that Tracy naturally is going to be advising them. So we could make up a list ahead of time and get some answers, or she may just, well, let's try it.
Do you guys want to sit on it, think about it, and then email me a list of your questions? You know, and then I can present them to her and to Jeff and to see what our next step should be. Like, should we have a meeting where they address all these questions?
I really think that the question is, how do we go, where do we go from here? I mean, if we look at each room, we're gonna love it, but we can't do anything until we know where it's going or what we can do with it.
So you're talking about the physical location of the building.
Yeah, that, and what they have planned for us. If they have us planned already to try to get us in the town hall, then we have to work with that. We need some, we have ability as being the expansion committee, but we also need guidance. And we need guidance on where to go from here. I
Right.
personally don't think we should go through each room and decide whether we like it or not until we know if we can have it.
Right. We know it's too big and we know there's options to condense it a little.
And we'll condense it if that's what we need to do, but we need direction, I think.
I feel more comfortable just going back in. Okay, here's the building, here's Tracy, here's Jeff, and we'll hear what they have to say.
Okay.
And the 20,000 square feet is fine, but it's not going to fit where it is. So
Right.
is there a plan B? Do we, as an expansion committee, do we look at other places where we might go? What is the cost of a 20,000 square foot building on a piece of land that we would have to add the cost to? Greco mentioned she threw out the school. Well, maybe there's room in the school. Okay, is there room in the school? If so, where is it? How many square feet? We can't just be dangling in the air with these
Right.
things.
I don't think it's like in the school. I think it would be attached, but with no connection that it would affect us. Because there would be no access. We wouldn't want any access through our building to the school because that makes us vulnerable for those alarms and the loudspeakers and all that.
Right. Okay. But where if there were an attachment to the school, where is it?
Right. Hasn't even been looked at this point because this is what they needed to know first. This is the needs and the assessment plan. And like Greco even said, it may not work at town hall. We may have to, like you say, Evelyn, she said she did mention the school. So I guess my question today is from the expansion committee, do we want Cindy to go back to Tracy with a list? Or do the four of us go as a group to meet with Tracy and the architect and see what they have to say? And then we'll have our thoughts and our questions already in our head because we've discussed them.
I think that we need to go to whoever's making the decision
Right.
on what their thought process is. Because I think they have a thought, and I want to know what that is. And are we chasing our tails? We need to get going on this. And I think we need some direction. So whoever that is that we need to go to, we need to do that first.
Okay.
agree. I
And
agree.
we can't go to the selectmen at this point because there's no way that they can make a decision. At some point, there'll be something to educate them, but at this point, the next step is the architect and Tracy.
Well, I don't totally agree with that, Joyce. If the selectmen are making the ultimate decision, then maybe we contact them and we say, look, based on what the design we came up with, we've got 20,000 square feet. We can whittle this down. Is that what you want us to do? You know, just figure out where they want us to be. If it's town hall, then we've got to come up with 10,000 square feet. We also need to look at the parking to see if that's ample for our seniors. Am I making any sense?
No, I agree with that. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, why are we going over this if we're going to get shut down in the end anyway? Where do they want us to go?
So why don't I go back to Tracy with that question?
Um,
And she
Is
can
it-
let me know where we need to go from there. If it's the select board, like Evelyn's saying, or what? Do you want me to do that?
It's fine with me. How about you, Evelyn?
Yeah,
Ellen?
that's okay. Just point us in the right direction, and
Right.
we'll present what we have so far to whoever wants to listen to it and go from there.
Right, there's no sense in giving more direction to Jeff if we don't know what we have for reins.
For space,
Mhm.
for actual physical space.
Right,
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that will be my plan then. I'm going to reach out to Tracy and let her know that this is what the concerns are and see where she points me to. And then I'll let you guys know.
sounds good.
I want to apologize to Selectman Greco. Listens to this by just calling her by her last name. So, okay. So, is there anything else anybody wants to say, or we'll just wait to hear back from Cindy as to what information is given to her to give to us?
Sounds good.
Yep, I agree.
All right.
Okay,
So I'm going to send an email, request a call with Tracy, and then I will get back to you guys.
sounds like a plan. Thank you, Cindy, and good
Thank
luck with your next day.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.